CSN Philly's Marc Jackson joins us now on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. Mark, welcome back, pal.
Thank you. How are you?
Well, we're good now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's good now.
Hey, first off, obviously, let's start right with Fultz. And I saw you on TV last night breaking this down. I thought it was really well done about just how adding a guy like Fultz with what the Sixers do offensively should change the efficiency for this team offensively.
Yes, it should. You know, he brought in a capable scorer. He brought in a capable ball handler, ball distributor. So he checks all the boxes 76ers need. And the good thing is he's a big guard, too. So the 76ers with their lineups, depending on how they're going, to do a lot of switching on D. You know, and with his size, he's capable of guarding 1, 2, or 3. And in this league nowadays, sometimes some of these fours who are just undersized big. So, you know, he checks all the boxes off the 76ers, man. It's a happy time in the 76ers home. You know,
can you kind of lay out for the listeners how, you know, TJ, who had a good year, turned into a nice player, but how Fultz could really turn some of these, you know, I saw you guys in the video last night showing him kind of getting the ball off the elbow, but when he got to the rim, because he's not quite as athletic as Fultz might be, it gives the defense time to get there, and he would miss a lot. You know, he didn't finish a lot, and that shouldn't be the case with Fultz.
It shouldn't be the case at all. Fultz is a bona fide finisher, and he can finish up there with the trees. And with his 6'11" wingspan, he's able to get up and use his length to finish over the 7-footers and high flyers again. So it gives the 76ers another score around the rim on some of their plays. They run a lot of pick and rolls. They run a lot of guards coming off screens looking to attack. And now with teams playing off of TJ, playing off of Sergio, knowing they're pass-first players, you know, with folks coming there, you know, you got a score-first guy. So it's going to create more pressure for the defense to have more weapons. They try to defend and stop more weapons for the 76ers. So it's actually working out pretty good.
Mark, you said the magic word that I just kept hearing over and over last night on the draft, on your guys' coverage, as you and Marshall were goofing around and going at it. Wingspan. When did that become such a big deal, and why is that such an important thing for everybody to pay attention to now?
You know, it was very interesting. It used to be about size. How tall are you? How is your measurables? Were you 6'10"? Were you legit 6'10", were you legit 7'1" as a guard, were you a legit 6'3" or legit 6'5" shooting guard? Now they you know, the analytics, and I'm not an analytics guy. I'm a straight eyeball test guy. But I will say this: when now it was a great article done in USA Today about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where it said it gave a comparison to now it's about, if we can get smaller frame guys that have incredible length of arms, they can guard bigger guys and it'd be more durable. So if you're looking at the post position, instead of having somebody 7'2", 7'3", who, you know, measures arms only 7'2", 7'3", say if you get somebody who's 6'10", who weighs, you know, 20% less the amount of pounds of that bigger guy, but with a long 7'2", 7'3" wingspan, he's able to defend those bigger guys, also agile enough to defend guards. So it gives teams better chance on the defensive end to play switching defense, to put more pressure, and if they get beat, their length comes into play to help defend people around the basket. So that's where it came at, what they're actually saying. And they actually stay on the floor more, healthy-wise, because they don't have more of the bigger loads, the 280, 275 frames. They're actually 220, 225 and agile and can stay more durable because they don't have more body weight to carry around.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are a little older. Like, wingspan was always like when you went to the zoo and you were learning about different birds. It wasn't
exactly.
about, I mean, so given that you're talking about wingspan and Fultz, will his defense then be a problem in the NBA?
Yes, it will, because not a problem, is a problem for the opposing teams, because him being 6'4", but with a 6'11" wingspan, let's start off with the offensive end. Some of the moves he makes, he's able to get his shot off over bigger guys. I'm like, well, how is he getting that off? And he's not just getting a shot off, he's able to finish. Then you bring it to his arm length, how he's able to do that. But defensively, when you have longer arms, you're able to play more aggressively on defense, but be further away from a guy, so you don't necessarily get beat more, because you can be an extra foot off of guys, But when he tries to get his shot off, you can put them long condor arms up to kind of shade his shot and make it a struggle for him to get his shot off. So that's where the wingspan comes into play. So you can actually be a step slower than opposing guards, but with your arm length, you can play off them more and don't get beat and just be ready for them. And when they raise up to shoot their shot, your wingspan comes into play to being a deterrent for them trying to shoot their shot and getting your hands up.
Yeah, like that safety net or erasing any defensive mistakes you might make, just a way to cover more area. We're talking with Marc Jackson, Comcast
See that
Sports
video
Net,
that
pre
they
and
keep
post.
showing where he got kind of beat and he pinned the guy's ball up against the backboard because, and I mean, he was like in the middle of the paint.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where that wingspan comes into play. But, Mark, one thing I want to ask you about Fultz, and you got Ben, how do you see those guys playing off of each other? I mean, do you think Fultz should dominate the ball more? Do you like Ben dominating the ball? I mean, can they kind of share? What do you see from those two guys together?
Those two guys will be, listen, with them, and I think with a mixture of Bayless in there also, you have guys who can handle the ball, multiple guys. But the new phrase we use now is positionless basketball. You don't have to worry about one point guard bringing it up and handling everything. You got Ben. First of all, this is my favorite phrase to use when I'm referring to Ben. He's a get it and go guy. So Ben, grab that rebound, he's going. His 0 to 60 is faster than my Tesla. He can grab that ball and he get from one end to the court down to the other before the other team get past half court. And you have to be able to run with it. That's incredible. But then when you have multiple guys who are smart enough to make decisions, are adequate passers, who the defense have to load up on, it opens the floor for everyone. And I think that's a big-time thing. On a lesser scale, you look at Golden State with Steph Curry running pick and roll, but then you go to the other end, you got Draymond Green who's able to do the same things, and you got Kevin Durant. They got multiple guys on the floor that can do multiple things, and that's a good thing for the 76ers.
Mark, if you were Colangelo, would you make a run at J.J. Redick?
Listen, I've been saying J.J. Redick since the end of last season. J.J. Redick has to be number one on their priority list. And also, and number two, I think the two top names, you got to find a way to maneuver some of your draft picks or some future draft picks to get Danny Green. I actually like Danny Green more because he's 3 years younger. So I like Danny, and they both give out the same thing, but Danny Green may be a more prolific defender and also coming from a NBA championship pedigree with some rings on his belt, can give you some additional help, give you the leadership. Both guys can contribute, but both guys can be knockdown shooters and can help space the floor. They will open the lanes up more for Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, let's not forget that, and Markelle Fultz. They go one-on-one more and now have to worry about help coming from that shooting guard position.
Hey, Mark, you were a guy who bounced around and kind of was a veteran player on some teams. I'm sure teams brought you in to kind of be that veteran presence. Sixers don't have a lot of that. Do you anticipate some growing pains and some tough times for this team, or do you think they're just have enough talent that they might not go through that rough patch?
Hey, I think they need it. They need it. Let's be honest. They have a lot of young talent, but that young talent don't mean nothing because if you don't have some kind of veteran on the court. And listen, you can bring in my great buddy Elton Brand. When they brought him into the Sixers organization, he was past his prime. He was past the time that he can contribute. He was more so just a guy to come in and be a locker room presence. But they need a guy that can come in, give them 10 to 12 points a game, and also and be in the locker room. So then he's getting due respect. He's showing, look, this is how you do it right here. He's healthy enough. He's young enough. He can show them how to do it. He can be help do things on the court by leading by example with his play, but also in the locker room say, hey, look, man, this is what you got to do right here. This is how you prepare your body. This is how you stay ready for the season grind, the long grind. They need that. First of all, and then they have a great coach in Brett Brown who respectfully has been here during tough times, but also can let these young guys play through mistakes and is a teacher. He's not necessarily, I'm going to go with what we have now, but he also has the patience to stop. Let's stop, break it down. This is why we do this. This is why you do that, to benefit not just you as an individual, but the entire 76ers ball club.
So I want to get your opinion because you were a Sixer at one point. You were a Timberwolf at one point. Both of these teams back-to-back, by the way. You came from Minnesota into Philadelphia. Both of these teams are the young teams that are kind of up and coming. One team decided to go with the veteran player, Jimmy Butler. The Sixers decided to stay with the younger group. Which side, which way will win out?
I think right now Minnesota will win out because they, for a few reasons. First reason is health. You know, Andrew Wiggins and Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, they're coming in with clean slates as far as injuries. They've been healthy. Legitimate, they've been healthy. Then you add in a proven, consistently performing Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Big Time Butler, who plays both ends of the floor, proven product. Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, proven products of the last year or two, proven products compared to the 76ers, who's coming in with a big guy who could be a franchise changer, a franchise player, all-star caliber player who has a history of injuries. Let's just call it what it is, a history of injuries. Then you have Ben Simmons, who's coming off a broken foot. So then you kind of coming in, or can he give it? Can he stay healthy? You have question marks there. Markelle Fultz has never played an NBA game. So you have to get a nod and a check mark to Minnesota Timberwolves. We're coming in with two guys that have question marks as far as health. One guy's never played an NBA game, but you compare that to Minnesota Timberwolves, who have two proven guys, Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, who's been very healthy and putting up big-time numbers. Then you come with Jimmy Big Time Butler, who's been a proven, consistent two-way player in the NBA. You got to give it to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, I think in the short term they will probably be a more impactful team than Philly. But one thing's for sure, they will both be a lot of fun to watch. And Marc Jackson, of course, talking Sixers.
Who's always entertaining to watch.
That's right. Mark, we appreciate the time, pal.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, I'm moving back in 3 weeks. I'm coming back just in time.
Nice, yeah. Well, we'll see more of you on the TV than that, hopefully, then, because you're
fantastic
moving back
news.
right for the good parts. During the process, he got out of here. Now he's coming back.
Exactly.
Take care, Mark.
Take care. Have a good one, guys.